Growing up, my dad was always like a big influence on me playing sports, and he was always the coach of my teams. And it really all started playing baseball and soccer at Anderson Snow. And ever since then, I ended up playing YMCA basketball. And then really all I did growing up was just play sports. There was really nothing else to it. I loved playing sports growing up, and soccer was actually one of my favorite sports. We ended up going down to Hudson and competing for the Sunshine Cup, and me and my brother's team ended up winning it, and that was just a really good moment in my life. I played baseball, like travel, and that's where I traveled all around America, and my Dixie team had won the World Series over in Mississippi. That's actually my dad was the coach. That was his biggest. He told me it was like one of his biggest achievements ever in his life, was coaching that team. My love of sports translated into middle school. I played football, basketball, and ran track. When I was in sixth grade, just seeing all the bigger guys on the field, it was definitely a little intimidating. But as I played football and knew it just took a good mentality, it became easier. I played fullback and D-end. I just really liked playing fullback and D-end because you could really just go and hit anybody, and it wasn't really like you had to be good. You just kind of had to do a certain job. You had to block somebody, contain the outside, do certain things that just required a role, and I was good at that role. In eighth grade, I was a captain, and I had to lead the team, and I never really had that role before. In seventh grade was the first JV game of the year. I broke my ankle, lost the whole season, and then eighth grade, it meant more to me because to me, that was the last time I was going to play football. I was like, I'm going to Central, I'm never going to play football again. So I was just kind of trying to leave it all out on the field because I figured it was going to be my last time. And we ended up going to the district championship and losing to Powell, but we had a great year. I was a part of one of the best defenses in the county. So just great times. Well, in basketball, I was on JV. I played point guard for my sixth grade year. My seventh grade year, I ended up moving up to varsity and started at shooting guard, and that was a big moment for me. Definitely a stepping point in basketball to play a lot of the older guys. And then my eighth grade year, kind of had to take control of the team, be a captain, and then that's where my decision to go to Central happened because the basketball team was really good. That was my main focus all through high school, was to focus all on basketball and go somewhere for that. In track in eighth grade, I was second in the county for long jump, and in the district meet, I was just competing in everything. I think I came third, we had the number one 4x1 team in Central or Challenger history, so that was a big deal to me. Well, coming in as a freshman, I was definitely scared. Didn't really know what to do. Played a lot in the summer, my eighth grade summer coming into high school, and then I ended up earning a starting spot or a varsity spot with my older brother, and I didn't really play as much, but I still averaged 4 or 5 points a game. My only focus in my freshman year was only pretty much defense and just stopping their best player. I ended up breaking my leg and my knee my sophomore year, so my season had got cut short. But coming into the season, it was a big point for me to step up into that next level and kind of show out. I think I ended up averaging 11 points, 9 rebounds a game. We ended up going to the district championship. I don't think we ended up making states that year, but it was a great year. And then moving into my junior year, I was one of the main players. It was me, Trey Joyner, Deshaun Brown. We ended up going to the Final Four for the state. We ended up losing to Gibbs in a close game, but that was definitely a big year for me, and I have a lot of memories that I won't ever forget. In basketball, one thing I love the most is that I could be a versatile player. Last year, my junior year, I had to play center because I was the tallest on the team. So I always had to guard a guy bigger than me, and that was just a big deal to me. So I always took pride in my defense. One of the biggest moments that popped out to me was the Nature Coast game. I can't remember, I had 4 or 5 blocks, and I was locked in on defense, and we ended up winning the game by a buzzer beater, and it was just a big moment for me because going to Central, it's a big deal, beating Nature Coast. It's always a good feeling. An unexpected thing that happened in my high school career was after my junior year of basketball, Coach P had came up to me and Braden and tried to get us to play football. And everyone would kind of just take it as a joke. We're not playing football. It's Central. Our team's horrible. Da-da-da. But I actually really wanted to play football. I always wanted to play again. I knew I was good, so I wanted to give it a shot again.
Basically, I came into Central late last year at the end of July and was there probably 6 days, and it was time to start practice. So we played with what we had, and not a very good season. We did grow a little bit that year, but my goal was to recruit the school in January, to recruit the whole school. So I went to their very first basketball game and realized, we've got some talent in the school. And that's really where I started to focus. And it probably took 6 months to convince these guys to play football, but we started within our program.
Came to a practice. Braden, you got to come out to a practice. It's we're changing the program. And ever since then, I played in the spring game. I had 2 touchdowns, 160 yards. I kicked a field goal. And then at that moment, that's when I had known that I should have been playing football this whole time. And it really just came easy to me. And I'm really looking forward if I could play at the next level. I honestly love the game. It's fun. I just love how you can get along and have so many different relationships with teammates. It's honestly just a good feeling.
Well, I think the very first time I seen him on the field, he probably leaped in the air 3 or 4 feet and pulled the ball out from nowhere. He's got that type of ability. I'm going to be honest with you, when he first came out, I thought he might be our quarterback. So, and then, Joyner came up, and between the two of them, I think they have that connection. They like to throw to each other. They play basketball together. But just his pure athletic ability is what stood out to me.
Going into the season, I have a lot of goals. One of my main goals is to lead the county in receiving yards. I also want to have 10 touchdowns this year. That's honestly a big goal to me. But going into it as a team, I really want to win the district championship. We have a lot of guys that no one knows about, and I feel like a lot of us aren't even putting us into consideration, and I just want to prove them wrong.
Caden stood out to me right from the get-go because he's a competitor. All right, he's relentless, and I'm a fan of basketball too, and I like that they play defense on basketball, and that's what kept them together. And he's also a team player. Obviously a very good athlete, so he was the start. And I knew that, with his size, that, he had a good chance to be pretty good. And he's proven himself to be that.
It's crazy to me that my senior year is coming up and it's all going to be over for me. I got a lot of opportunity with sports. I got to play a lot of different sports. And I just want to thank my parents for being there with me through it all. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have been able to get where I'm at today. When I graduate, I just want to look back and see that I was a part of the change and that everything's going better in Bear Country and the school spirit, and they're proud to be a Bear, and that would honestly be a good feeling in my heart.
Caden has a second side to him too, and it's academically. He's pretty successful in the classroom. He's got a pretty high GPA, and we stress that all the time, is you need that GPA to get to the next level. But he's got that work ethic, and that's that competitiveness in him. He's competitive in the classroom just like he is on the court, just like he is in football. So, and he understands that academics will help him get to the next level. And you talked about how he's viewed in the school, and he's viewed as one of the leaders in the school. The administration sees him that way. The teachers see him that way. The other students see him that way. So he's a leader, and that's what you need, especially in a high school situation. You need leaders on your team, and somebody who's going to stand up and tell you when you're doing something wrong and call you out, and that's how he is.
Personal goals when I graduate are going to college and playing football. I really see myself having a future in it. I want to study sports medicine. I feel like since I went through a lot of injury in my sports career, I could help other athletes, and I feel like sports medicine is going to be a good topic for me to study. Coach P, like facial expressions, and he was dancing. It was just funny. It's just I don't know. It's just I don't know.